Hello friends of Grey Rhino. It's been a while since we met, and I'm happy to be seeing you again. This time round, we'll be meeting via YouTube. The Democrats has won a narrow blue wave, having won the House of Representatives, the White House, and a split Senate. So what does this mean for 2021 and beyond? Today, I'd like to be sharing with you the macroeconomic environments we'll be having in the next year. And in the next YouTube show, I'll be sharing with you the kind of assets that will be favorable in such an environment and the kind of assets that will be risky in such an environment. So first, macroeconomic environment. So what is actually macroeconomic environment? Macroeconomic environment does not only include economic growth. Economic growth is part of it. It includes things like interest rates environments, liquidity, credit environments, inflation. And today, I'd like to be sharing with you the environments today. Let's go one by one. Economic growth. So my thought is, with this vaccine that's being found, late of last year, and now with the Democrats taking office, it is likely in this year we will see an increase in economic growth. Maybe even into next year. Why is this so? Firstly, with this pandemic, there comes suppressed demand. I just take an example of SIA wanting to do a flight to nowhere. So when they created this flight to nowhere, it was overwhelming demand. It was fully booked and there was people queuing for it. Why? Because people have not been traveling and they are longing for it. Hence, can you imagine if one day this travel ban is lifted? I'm sure a lot of people will be wanting to book their flights and travel overseas. And hence, when this pandemic is close to over, I think with this suppressed demand, it will kick up the economic growth. And this is fueled by what the Democrat pledged to do. Because the Democrat pledged to be using fiscal stimulus to boost the economy. And I think that's what they will follow through, with more and more deficit spending to be doing the fiscal stimulus to boost the economy. Hence, I think barring unforeseen circumstance, this couple of years, we should be seeing an increase in economic growth. Secondly, on interest rates. I think interest rate is going to stay low for long. And the reason is because we are in a debt-laden world. And when interest rate is increased, the government will have to increase their interest expense on the debts they have borrowed. And I don't think they want that. And for the central bank, they wanted interest rate to be low so as to create a wealth effect. Because today, a lot of assets has gone up in price because the interest rate is suppressed. And I think for as long as they can, the government, the central bank will want to keep interest rates low. Thirdly, on liquidity. I think liquidity will be kept plentiful, in abundance for the years to come. I just take it very clearly from 2016 to 2018 period. Let's take a look what happened. In 2016 was when the US central bank started to raise interest rates, and towards the later parts, wanting to contract the money supply through quantitative tightening. And at the end of 2018, the current Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, he mentioned he wanted to keep the quantitative tightening on an autopilot mode. It means that you keep it ongoing on automatic mode for a long period of time. And the moment he said that, the stock market took a plunge. And what happened the next 3 months was quite extraordinary, because Jerome Powell basically took a 180-degree U-turn. And the next 3 months, instead of contracting money supply, he increased it. Instead of increasing interest rate, he reduces it. So I think, given that stance, I think they will likely want to remain with a very easy monetary policy for a long period of time. The last factor, I think, could be the most important factor, because it could be a game changer. That is inflation. So far, the central bank and the government can afford to do this, to lower interest rates, to print a lot of money, which means a very easy monetary policy, because inflation has been kept in check. And the moment if inflation starts to pick up, especially if it picks up quickly, these tools that had been available can no longer be used. What the central bank has been doing is like pouring oil into the engine, to keep it going. But the moment if there's a spark, imagine, or if there's a flame, then this can no longer continue. Because if there's a flame, you can't pour more oil. It will set the whole place ablaze. And that flame is called inflation. If inflation were to rise, then all these too has to be kept. In fact, it might have to be reversed. And that would have huge consequences on asset prices. Having said that, I don't think that's the likely scenario. I think we are likely to see increased inflation as growth picks up in this or next year. However, in the longer term, I think growth is going to come down to the normal situation, which is a slowing growth. And that's because of the low fertility that the wealthy nation has been having the past decade. And with low fertility, growth will slow down. So that's what I like to be sharing. The inflation will likely be coming down. So with this, I've just shared with you is about the macroeconomic environments. And in the next YouTube show, what I'll be sharing with you is the kind of assets that will benefit and the kind of assets that will be at risk with this economic environment. So with this, I'd like to share with you, if you are interested in what I'm sharing with you today, I'll be sharing more detail about this in one of my seminars on the 30th of January. And if you are keen to join me in that seminar, please subscribe below so then I can share more with you the detail of this seminar. And at the same time, I'll encourage you all to comment on what I've just shared. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I think I'll welcome all views if you could share your views in the comments below, so then we can have more interaction with all of y'all. Okay, so with this, I'd really like to thank you all for watching this YouTube show. And till we meet next time, I'd like to share again to be designing your life and build your wealth for a better future. Thank you. If you'd like to be listening regularly to the Grey Rhino YouTube to gain more financial knowledge and also investment wisdom, do subscribe below to the Grey Rhino YouTube channel and remember to turn on your notification.